We're on the road to Santiago. We're on the road to find ourselves.
I won't give you all the details of the story behind it. He had a bad day, and when the reporters put the thing in his face, he said a bunch of stuff about my dad in this article. He was angry with my dad, and he said a bunch of stuff in this article about my dad, and my dad said, no comment. Sometimes when people talk trash, that's what you gotta do, is just say no comment. So I'm going to save that one just to remind me where I came from.
Walking alongside the monastery in Samos. That's the direction. 13 kilometers to my albergue in Sarria. This has been an enlightening Camino, as always. They always are enlightening. Sometimes your enlightenment isn't what you want. But it's all good. You learn things about yourself, mostly. And I think the pilgrim who comes here thinking about what he can get from the Camino, thinking it's about the feeling, which you certainly get that feeling, maybe misses the point. But now I'm making a blanket statement about all pilgrims, and that's not correct. For me, well, we'll figure it out. That's okay, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just I'm getting candid look at this. So the Camino stays on the highway, or?
Yeah.
That second voice you hear is Eduardo. We reconnected in Samos, and he became my only Camino angel on this brief walk.
Branches shooting up. Straight up.
Oh wow, those are bizarre. Huh. Wow. Went through a dark forest. It's brutal. Brutal climb. Few kilometers, no, few meters left. There. The top of it. Sueño de la paz. Oh, the paz was peace. Dreams of peace.
Yeah. El sueño de la, yeah, the dream of peace.
I hear a minstrel in the forest. Well, we climbed up and now we're going down.
Still no coffee shop in sight.
Yeah, no coffee shop in sight. Again, we are on uncharted ground here. Going that way. We're in a little town called Garolf, which, no idea what it means, or Gorolf, I'm sorry. Eduardo says Gorolf or Gandalf, and I guess I kind of look like Gandalf. None shall pass. Well, I parted ways with Eduardo back there. He's going to Barbadello. He's actually taking a shortcut that bypasses Sarria. Meanwhile, I'm going this way to Sarria. We'll see what happens. a bit of added drama for your viewing pleasure. I came here, I thought, what a perfect shot. I'm all alone. I'm going to set up a shot of me walking down this road, and I'm getting all set up, and then here come cyclists. I go, okay, I'll wait till the cyclists come by, and then they stop there, and they stop here. Literally, they stop there to look at the cows, and they came up here and stopped there to look up both roads. And then they waited for their friends, and then they went over there to take a selfie. And I'm like, hell with you, I'll just do it while you're here. I don't care. But you can hear me grumbling in these next few clips. Finally, I should move the fuck along. They stop. I want to take a shot here, and they just fucking stop. And they stop, and they stop. It's like I had all set up. See, I got this all set up. They won't fucking leave. I just want to let's go. Somebody coming up behind me again? Well, it doesn't matter if they are. Sure is a beautiful morning. I recorded some video footage where I talked about some of my conversations I had with Americans this time. The Americans last time were The Americans last time were wonderful and very supportive, and some of my Camino angels. The Americans I've encountered this time they've been kind of, I don't know, a little judgmental, mean-spirited, I thought. Could just be my perception, I'm aware of that. But I had a couple conversations where I was actually a little bit offended, but I've been thinking long and hard about what is the best way to handle that situation if I encounter it again. It was two Americans on the bus out of Villafranca Del Bierzo as we were waiting for the bus stop conversation. Some things were said, and derogatory things about a certain type of pilgrim, and I don't think they realized they were talking about me. And then I had an encounter yesterday at Tria Castella, sitting at a table, and it's interesting because I walked with a guy, and he came in, he said, and he said, oh, there's this table, and he knew everybody at the table, and it was very clear they were a Camino family. And one of the things Jordan Peterson talks about is the fact that every human being has an in-group preference. It's just a natural. If we don't have a tribalistic system per se, we create tribalistic systems like sports teams and so forth. But everybody has an in-group preference, and within the in-group there is there is just an instinct to just keep the outsider somewhat outside the circle of trust. And recognizing that I was an outsider, that this was a Camino family that was reconnecting, that was cool. They welcomed me and they were fine, but I could feel that dynamic, that here is a dynamic I'm not a part of. I accept that. And I accepted that I wouldn't get that dynamic this time. Only walking for about 10 days, starting well late into the Camino. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But the conversation turned, and one of the Americans was very outspoken, and just some of the things that came out, I realized things I would have said, or I wish I had said, and didn't. And it's probably best I didn't. But I'm thinking, how best do you handle that on the Camino? How best do you handle that in life? How do you have a lively conversation with an opinionated asshole? A lively and engaging and constructive conversation. And, I'm going to call out my old buddy Brent. Brent and I, the more we talked, the more I realized, in terms of ideology, we are very far apart. But the Camino connected us, bound us. I consider him one of my best friends I made on the Camino, best Camino friend at the time. And we were able to take our conversations and skirt into those areas where maybe we didn't agree, but then not dance there too long. And then take it back outside to the much broader things we did agree upon. And I think there was a mutual respect there. I certainly respected him. I hope he respected me. But that was the magic of the Camino that I experienced. And at this table, I experienced just a little, this table yesterday, I experienced the opposite. I felt a little bit like I was back at home in a coffee shop overhearing a guy express opinions I didn't like, you know. And going back to Brent, he and I talked about one Peregrino we met on the Camino that neither of us liked very much. And Brent says, my position is I just don't want to spend any time with this person. And I said, I do too. And I feel the same way. But that person did give me a valuable nugget of wisdom for the little bit I walked with him. And it's a nugget that I've carried into the regular life. And it was his definition of love. This person was very fundamentalist Christian, but he said, my definition of love is the accurate assessment of one's needs and then providing for those needs. So love being an action. And so as I've been walking, I've been thinking about that encounter and thinking, next time that happens, I need to maybe figure out how to accurately assess what an asshole's needs are and find a way to provide them. I mean, it's obvious what his wants are. He wants to be right and he wants to feel that anybody who disagrees with him is below him. I mean, you get that vibe from certain people. But what are his needs? And can I provide for them? And if I can, should I provide for them? Or should he find a different way to meet those needs because it's part of his Camino? Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Let's get on with this bullshit. Seven. Lovely little place in the middle of a dark forest. I'm here and not very happy. It's only 10 o'clock and I'm still a long ways away. How did this happen? How did I walk for 2 hours and go nowhere? I should have enjoyed it more, but I'm still so overwhelmed that I walked for 2 hours and it doesn't feel like I'm any closer to Sarria. Looks like part of a quarry or something. Hello, my friend. Hi there. I don't have any food for you. Sorry, it looks like you live in a pretty swell place, so. And now we connect with the Camino proper. I remember we had to go on the road for a while. I had that cafe back there where I stopped to get a drink. Just as I was leaving, a crew was coming, included the guy that I kind of had a little issue with yesterday. So there's what it looks like coming into Sarria. I really didn't get much footage last year because I was walking with Jeff from Chiliwa. The Camino comes into Sarria and you see these little more modern buildings on this end here on a very small river. Straight as the river goes down and winds that way, it's a lovely image of a dumpster. As the river winds down that way, you can see, actually, I'll get over there and get a video of this real quick. We have the Camino shells on this fence line. Goes all the way down that way. Last time I stayed at an albergue way down there, and this time we're staying a bit more commercial, as you can see. So we're not on the Camino anymore. The Camino actually continues off that way. This road goes straight down through the more commercial areas and ends up at our albergue, which is over by the train station. So it shows all the major points of call between O Sobrero, with us being at Sarria right now. So anyway, we're going to stop there at Puerto Marin tomorrow and take a bus to Santiago de Compostela. And I think we're done with our Camino. Right down there is the train station. This is the Cafe Barrio Alto where I received my first Camino stamp, October 17th, 2018. I think the Camino's trying to tell me something because the guy I called the asshole earlier, he and his little Camino family are right down the street and they're staying at the same albergue. So there. Turns out they're staying at my albergue tonight, so I'm down the street doing laundry, hiding
from everybody instead of being my normal, outgoing, friendly, gregarious self, because I'm afraid I'm going to say something. I don't know what to do. Guess I'll fold my laundry. People say, why are you so afraid to engage with this person? I'm not afraid to engage with this person. I am afraid of what I will do and say if I engage with this person, because I am passionate. And I decided if I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that to him. I don't want to do that to the American girl. I don't want to do that to anybody at his table, because it ruins their Camino. It becomes that defining moment on their Camino. Remember that asshole American who came over and got on our face and started shit. I don't want to be that guy. I want them to have the best possible Camino. That's what I want. And it goes back to something my father said when I was trying to deal with a particularly caustic, nasty personality in school. And he says, you know what I found? And this goes with his no comment phase. He goes, you know what I found? I have to be the silent martyr. So you know what a martyr is, son? I say, yeah, it's a person who gets persecuted for their religious beliefs. He goes, well, in this day and age, it's a person who maybe is not wrong, but they get persecuted and accused because the persecutors need them to be wrong. He says, sometimes people just need you to be wrong. In that case, fighting them's not going to do any good. I just keep my mouth shut and I can be the silent martyr. No comment, son. Buen Camino.